because I know it's going to be awesome. I know that we're going to have a few more jumping on. If you guys have specifically invited someone on your team to get on this call, or if you've advertised it on your page and you know of some people that are supposed to be on this call and you don't see them, go ahead and send them a text or a quick Facebook message or something. Could y'all tell I did that one sentence all with one breath? I was completely running out of breath at the end of the sentence. So glad to have so many of y'all on here. I don't see anybody that I think is a newbie, but just in case, welcome, welcome, welcome. Even if you're watching this on the playback, on the recording. My name is Amber Livesey. I am one half of the Slim Sisters team. My sister Jana Hooten is the other half of that team. We are both Diamond Ambassadors. And if you are on this call, you are on our team, and we are blessed to have you on our team. We love our team. We have a great team. I consider it more of a family culture on our team, and really kind of all throughout most of Plexus. So we love this company. We love our team. Can't say enough great things about it. If this is your very first Zoom call, down in the bottom left corner, there's a stop video, or it may say start video for you button. If you want your video on, make sure it says start video, or click it where it says start video. If you want it off, click it where it says stop. But just keep in mind, we do like to see your lovely smiling faces. Just be careful if you're driving. Kylie's 1A. Anyway, I want to open us up in a quick word of prayer, and then I'm going to introduce our speaker to us tonight. I'm super excited. Dear Lord, I thank you so much for this time with these wonderful folks from our team. Lord, I just pray that you'll just bless our time together. Lord, for those that are on here live, for those that are watching the playback, Lord, we just pray that each and every one of us will learn from this call. Lord, we will grow from this call. We will learn maybe some new things that we hadn't thought of before, or maybe we will just hear them in a way where we will get it. Lord, I just thank you so much for each and every person on our team. Lord, I just pray your blessings upon each and every one. Lord, thank you for Heidi and for her willingness to share with us tonight. Lord, we do pray that you continue to heal her body, and Lord, just give her such a miraculous, supernatural healing that the doctors are just shocked and amazed, and they just stand in awe of something that only you could do. Lord, we love you, and we thank you and praise you for all that you are. In your name, amen.
Amen.
So I first got to know our speaker tonight, honestly, kind of just through Facebook. And I remember the first time we met, I think was like last year in Hawaii. Did you guys have Lillian last year? Yes. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, it's the most adorable Facebook baby, and now she's here live in person, and I wanted to squeeze her. I didn't, because I didn't want to freak her out. I like to squeeze babies. But not too hard. That's weird. But Heidi, something that attracts me to Heidi's Facebook is her sense of humor, her vulnerability, her openness. She's real, you guys. She's super duper real. She's not trying to be somebody else. She's Heidi Speer through and through 100%. And I love that about her. And Heidi, if you even want to talk about that a little bit, that'd be awesome. Yeah. Just bringing that on you right here at the last minute. So guys, I've got my pen and paper out. Get ready to take some notes. Heidi, you take it away. And then if we have some time, when you're done, we'll do some Q&A.
Sounds fabulous. How long do y'all typically, are these like 30-minute calls, 40-minute calls?
Normally our call will go for an hour total. So that's like some questions, anything at the end. So if we don't go that long, that's okay. Especially the people on the East Coast, they'll be like, I'm good with that.
I have to ask about a time, because I'm notorious for going down rabbit holes. Like my brain goes off in this direction and we start talking about something completely different, but it usually is good. One thing y'all
me and you both.
One thing y'all figure out about me real quick is I never have like any kind of note cards or notes in front of me unless I'm taking notes for another speaker. It's always off the cuff, off the whim. But, you know, I try to like keep it genuine and from the heart and what I feel, you know, I'm led to talk about. So first and foremost, thank y'all for having me. And, you know, definitely my Facebook is probably almost too real to a fault sometimes. I feel like, I mean, that's probably the number one feedback I get from people, potentials, friends, family is, you know, your Facebook is relatable. It is, I feel like I could sit and have lunch with you. And that's honestly, in my opinion, like what the majority of people want. They don't want, like, y'all are getting a rare occasion where not only do I have mascara, but I have earrings and lip gloss. What? Normally, mascara is usually like, I really like my mascara because it kind of, I feel like if I don't have anything else done and my hair's on day 5 of dry shampoo, which it totally normally is, let's be honest, I can still slap some mascara on and I don't look as homeless as I sometimes feel. So for the most part, I'm very no makeup look, extremely gross hair. I mean, I'm wearing a sweatshirt right now with stains on it. Some of these jewels will do calls and they're like, oh, it's got, you know, business on top and party on the bottom. And I'm like, no, it's pretty much party neck down. Like, sometimes I'm in my robe. It's okay. But make sure that you are being you. People can tell when you're trying to be somebody else. And this is just a rabbit hole alert. Here we go, rabbit hole. There was a girl, and this is just totally, it goes hand in hand with this, but there was a girl that I was a nurse with in the emergency room at Children's, and she sells makeup for a different company, and we get along great. We're you know, we've never had issues. I mean, we still don't have issues, but I made a post on my Facebook the other day about a little kitchen hack that I found about aluminum foil. It was just a super simple live. I was impressed by the fact that aluminum foil has 2 little tabs that you punch in on either side and it locks your roll in place. I never knew that. So you're welcome if y'all didn't know this. For some of y'all are like, duh, honey, like seriously. But I made a live. I went live and was just like, let me show my Facebook audience what I figured out. Literally not even 24 hours later, she goes on her Facebook page and I'm scrolling through and her title of her live says, oh my God. I mean, it was like identical to what my caption was. And it said, oh my gosh, mind blown, kitchen hack. You know, I need y'all to see this. And I click on it and she's almost word for word saying everything I said off the cuff in my live and was like, y'all, look at this. I mean, it was eerie. And it would have been one thing if she was just like, look at my friend Heidi showed me. But it was like she had written down everything I said on my Facebook Live over aluminum foil of all things. But apparently she saw my like off the cuff random Facebook Live, saw the interaction it got and was like, I'm doing a Facebook Live about aluminum foil. And not only am I going to do it about aluminum foil, I'm going to do it exactly like Heidi did it. And we have a lot of mutual friends. So I don't know if that was a good idea on her part, or maybe she probably ought to pick something else, but it kind of made me realize like why it is important for us to be true to ourselves and genuine. Like it's one thing to draw inspiration from another person's post. I will tell you right now, one of my favorite things about Plexus is the fact that we can copy and paste other people's posts and twist them and turn them and make them our own. But going Facebook Live using the exact wordage and verbiage and all that stuff and the exact topic of somebody you have a ton of mutual friends with, I'm sure a lot of her viewers were like, oh, didn't Heidi do this exact thing yesterday? So I do think it is very important to be like I said, that was a total rabbit hole moment, so I apologize. But it definitely made me realize like, oh yeah, I mean, it stuck out to me like, oh, that was kind of weird, you know, for sure. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. So probably one of the biggest topics I get asked to talk about on guest speaker calls is my duplicatable system and what that is and what that looks like. I don't know if you guys already have a duplicatable system in place, but kind of let me explain what I mean by that. Should I give a little bit about my story first, or like, should I do that later, or?
At some point I want you to, so if you want to do it now or later, up to you.
I'll go ahead and do it now. And y'all, excuse me. Y'all go ahead and do my story now. So this makes more sense of why I'm all fidgety and like taking weight off my butt. So I'm going to give y'all a very condensed version of the last 2 years with Plexus, with my health, all of this stuff. So I joined in August of 2013, wholesale only ambassador. I was anti-selling. I specifically said to the girl that signed me up, do not ask me to sell. I'm not going to sell. If you were selling Mary Kay and asked me to come to your Mary Kay party, go ahead and put me down as a no. That is just my personality. I'm not one of those people that likes to go to those Pampered Chef things and feel pressured to buy anything, and that was not going to be me with Plexus. So I was a wholesale only ambassador. I had some thyroid issues that I wanted to help take care of some of the weight gain that had come about from that. And that was how I even got involved in the ambassador side of things. Fast forward about 2 weeks, me being a food addict, I noticed some pretty significant changes in my appetite and my cravings. That was what lit me up pretty quick to start talking about it a little bit. And the rest is history as far as once I realized, oh, okay, well, I got 2 or 3 people just from telling them how this stuff has affected my appetite and cravings. Like, what if I actually purposely tried posting about it frequently along my journey? And that's exactly what I did. I ended up going to Emerald in 6 months, which is crazy fast. But once I got that vision, I just took off. I didn't wait for anybody to tell me what to do, tell me what videos to watch. I didn't wait for anybody to tell me what books to read. I just literally went to YouTube, was looking for training videos. I watched a ton of Sarah and success kits that we have now. So that was how I got started with the business side of things. Kind of fast forwarding a little bit. 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, 26 months to be exact, I delivered our baby girl, Lillian. She is precious. You are unmuted by host. There we go. You hear me?
I'm sorry about that. I meant to mute someone else and I muted you instead. So go ahead.
So over 2 years ago, just a little over 2 years ago, I had Lillian, and she's been a huge blessing to our family. But when I delivered Lillian, the delivering doctor made a mistake. He performed a second degree, he performed an episiotomy, documented it as a second degree episiotomy, and I was at home 24 hours after delivery. Everything seemed to be going good. And y'all are about to get TMI. So if you got any kids in the room or you got any husbands in the room that are going to be like vomit here in a second, just heads up, here's your warning. Like I said, I'm very real, almost to a fault. So here we go. So literally 24 hours after delivery, I was bracing myself for that very first infamous bowel movement that they warn you about after a vaginal delivery. You know, my motto is hope for the best, prepare for the worst. And that's what I was doing. Felt like I was doing good about that. Had that bowel movement, all to realize that I had stool coming out of my hoo-ha. That's really fun when you've got a brand new baby. Yeah, I was pretty confident that that wasn't normal. So needless to say, ensued a mass panic because I knew that wasn't normal. And here we are 26 months later, and it's still an issue. So over the last 26 months, I've had 6 surgical procedures in attempt to repair this doctor's oops. That's fun. And y'all, legal action against a OB is hard, but we are pursuing. It's not stopping the fight to try to get some justice out of this, but it is hard to bring a malpractice case against an OB. So in November of last year, in November of 2017, I had a procedure called a gracilis muscle flap repair surgery with an ostomy, which basically means they took my right thigh muscle, flipped it upside down, inserted it into my hoo-ha to try to patch that hole, and gave me an ostomy, which is a bag that goes on my stomach that reroutes the stool. So I basically poop into a bag on my stomach right now. That is hopefully going to be temporary while all of this other fun town is healing. But here we are almost 5 months post-surgery, and I'm still not even supposed to be sitting on my bottom. I have to shift all the weight to keep it off of my hoo-ha, and hot mess express. I'm the definition right here. I own it. So all of that to say, well, one of the things because I don't know if I said this or not, but I'm a nurse by trade. That's my first passion is pediatric nursing. I was in the emergency room and also a nursing house supervisor. And then obviously, planned on going to work after 12 weeks of maternity leave. And then here we are 26 months later, couldn't go back because I was having surgery after surgery after surgery. So lost my nursing job. They said, come back once you're healed. Well, who knows when the heck that will be. Plexus, blessings, holy moly. I shared my testimony at our Little Rock Opportunity meeting. I guess that was last Friday, and I was just a hot mess sharing that because realistically, not only did I lose my job, but my husband couldn't go back to work because not only did he have to take care of his wife who was having surgery after surgery after surgery, but we had a brand new flipping toddler that he had to take care of as well. So we went from 2 income to 0 income outside of our Plexus business, and our Plexus business has paid every single bill. Every single need that we've had come up in the last 2 years, it has taken care of. Thank the Lord. Because I don't know. The reality of it is most people, if they both lost their incomes, you're looking at selling the house, filing for bankruptcy. I don't even know I hate to even think about it because I get all super emotional when I start thinking about, like, what if we didn't have Plexus as the backup? So it's crazy, crazy, crazy. All right. Enough about me. Let's talk about some of the good, juicy stuff I know y'all are looking forward to getting some notes on. So, like I said, when I went Emerald, it was a quick journey, mainly because there wasn't anything holding me back once I realized, like, oh, I literally need to share this with people, tell them about our products, follow up like a mad woman, seal the deal, and grow a team. Like, it was easy to me after I kind of got in that groove of understanding, like, the principle behind going silver and helping your level ones go silver. What I figured out really, really quickly is I could grow a team really fast, but I did not know how to keep a team. And that's probably one of the most magical questions in Plexus is, how do I retain my team, or how do I motivate my team? I think that's the other thing we always get hung up on. And unfortunately, there is no magic answer. Some people just get it, some people don't. But when I was almost Sapphire, I had a light bulb moment. I was talking with Sarah Marble, and I hope a lot of you will have a light bulb moment tonight when I say what I'm about to say. So I was talking to Sarah Marble, and I was talking just about that, like, I don't understand. I went Emerald so fast. I grew this huge team. I pretty much, took myself to gold. Like, I think I recruited 15 level ones when I went gold. So, that kind of tells you where the majority of my points came from myself. But that was because I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea. I just knew, go get level ones, go get level ones. That's all I did. So me and Sarah Marble are having this conversation when I was a Sapphire, and I said, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Like, I know how to seal the deal. I know how to find potentials. I know how to talk to potentials. I have no problem with follow-up. I understand that the fortune is in the follow-up, which it absolutely is. But for some reason, I don't know why my team isn't grasping the same concept and understanding. And she said, okay, well, what does your duplicatable system look like? And I was like, what do you mean? And she goes, well, when you sign a new ambassador, what happens? And I said, well, I add them to our team page, which our team page is called Pink Power Page. And I said, well, I add them to the Pink Power Page, and then I show them how to log into their back office, and then I tell them how to go silver. And she was like, okay, so what else do you do? Like, how do you know to tell them about what to expect with their products? How do you know how to tell them about the other benefits that there are to being an ambassador? How do you know to tell them how to get their products for free? How do you know that the same information you're telling your level ones is being passed down to their level ones and their level ones and their level ones? And I was like, I tell them, and I tag them on a couple of videos, and I tag them on our pinned post. And she was like, so what you're telling me is you don't have a duplicatable system. And I was like, I guess I thought that this was my duplicatable system. And she was like, well, it's duplicatable to you because you have done it so many times. You know what to do. But when you sign up a new level one and you're just tagging them on stuff and you're, throwing a bunch of information their way, if they happen to sign up a level one, how do you know that they're getting that exact same information that you gave your level 1 if it's not written down in a special checklist form or anything like that? And I was like, okay, yeah, look at the time. Like, I guess I need to go work on something being at Sapphire and just figuring this crazy town out. So basically what I did is I sat down and I thought, okay, what is something like, I want a 1-page checklist. And if y'all do not utilize your Success Kit, there is a very great resource in your Success Kit that is very similar to this. Obviously, I had created mine before our Success Kits came out, but still, in my personal opinion, number one, there's no right or wrong way to work your business. That's one of the beauties of it. But in my personal opinion, our Success Kit can be a little bit intimidating or maybe too business oriented for somebody who isn't really sure if they even want to work the business yet. The majority of my people that join my team are in that same boat. They're like, yeah, you know, the idea of like getting my products for free is great, but I don't know that I want to work the business. So if I were to come at them and say, let's open your Success Kit to page 3 and let's go through this checklist together. And I'm talking about going silver and I'm talking about creating their list of 5 people and all this stuff, it's going to go right over their little glazed over eyeballs, right over their heads. And they're going to be like, yeah, I think I'm good at just getting my products right now. You know, so my goal was to make a checklist where literally it doesn't matter if they came on board because they were like, I'm hardcore through and through, going to commit to these products for 6 months, but I only want the discount. Or it doesn't matter if they want to run with the business and go all the way to diamond. I wanted something super simple that made sure that I covered all of the bases, and that was duplicatable. And so that started with me. I will tell y'all it was a little hard to implement being a Sapphire and having hundreds and hundreds of people on my team who had never used a duplicatable system. And then here I am all of a sudden like, let's have a duplicatable system. Are y'all ready for this? Because that just takes it takes some work, you know, making people realize the importance of it. But essentially what my checklist is, and I'm going to give my checklist to Amber so she can upload it into y'all's files, and y'all feel free to tweak it. Feel free to throw it in the trash, whatever you want to do. But I think, got to reposition. I think it is important sometimes just to see other people's systems, just to see, okay, well, this works for her team. Obviously, my duplicatable system isn't working for my team. Let me try this. And I would encourage you, if that's you, implement it for at least 4 to 6 months. And then if it's not working, then look at something else. But you don't want it to be like oh, well, I tried to bring this to my team and they didn't give it a second thought, so we're on to something new, month 2. Give yourself some time to implement it, to keep talking about it. So essentially, that first 24 hours, your first little check box, I mean, the page is broken down by check boxes, literal check marks. At the very top of the page, I have a place for their name, their ambassador number, and their website ID, and their join date. This is great information for you to have at your fingertips as their sponsor. I put it in a spiral notebook, or not spiral, 3-ring binder. It also helps me with follow-up with my new ambassadors because then I have it physically on paper so I can literally go to their thing and make sure I've checked off all the boxes with them within that first couple of days. And then I can flip back over through the month to check in on them. So very first thing you'd want to do is fill out the top piece where it has their name and all their information. The first checkbox is making sure that they are getting a step-by-step sign-up. Now, whether that's you being on the phone with them to walk them through, whether that's you being face-to-face, or whether that is a really good step-by-step typed-up instruction sheet on how to not only sign up, but make sure that they get a welcome pack and make sure they have that subscription order in place. That is super important. So that's checkbox number 1. Checkbox number 2 is making sure they've been added to your team page and that you've told them what the team page is. I've had people on my team in the past say, oh, well, she's already told me she's not interested in working the business, so I'm not adding her to the team page. And I'm like, I would have never decided to work the business in a million years had somebody not added me to a team page, because that was what made me realize, okay, yeah, I want, like, I saw something that made me go, Oh, free product. Okay, well, what do I need to do? So I think that is extremely important, and I think it's important you tell your ambassador why that group is there and what you have added them to. If it is somebody that isn't really super interested in working the business, then you just say, hey, I'm adding you to our team page. I feel like this is a really great resource to you that you deserve. It's just a great place to come for questions, encouragement, information. Feel free to remove yourself, if you ever decide to quit Plexus, but, this is what this group is and this is why it's here. Avoid tagging your new ambassador on a ton of videos. If you have one video that you want to send them, I would send that to them in a private Facebook message. We have one that basically discusses what they can expect within their first 30 days of Plexus and what they can expect within their 30 to 60 days, just to kind of give them realistic expectations. We talk about the possibility of die-off. We talk about why we have a 60-day money-back guarantee versus the 30-day, all of those things. But I would not go start tagging them on the Power of 3 video by Sheila Medina and, how to get to Maui, don't overwhelm them because they're overwhelmed enough by the sign-up process. So avoid that at all costs. The next checkbox is, let's see, I should have brought it with me. I didn't even think to grab it out of the car. Lucky me. That's where my brain goes. So next checkbox is talking about, okay, are you interested in working this as a business? Yes or no? Pretty simple. If they say no, here's the magic wording I want you guys to get nailed down. If you have somebody that's like, no, I'm not interested in working the business, I want you to say this. I completely understand, but if I can help you get your products at least almost paid for, if not all the way paid for, would you be interested in that? For some reason, people like myself, this is like a response that somebody like me would respond to. If you ask me, do you want to work the business or do you want to get your products paid for? I might be interested in getting my products paid for, but I'm not interested in working the business. But guess what? It's the same exact process. So if they say, yeah, I would be interested in getting my products paid for, then you move on to the next checkbox, which is, okay, here's what I want you to do for me. I want you to list 3 to 5 close friends or family members that have one of these issues. And then I actually verbalize 10 to 15 health issues, whether it's gut health issues, migraines, soda addiction, energy levels, needing better sleep, chronic pain, weight loss, food and carb and sugar cravings. I list off several things for them. And this is something we typically go over the phone with. It doesn't take but maybe 20, 25 minutes to go over this, what we call the newbie checklist. And it's more so for the new sponsoring ambassador than it is for the actual new ambassador. It's a worksheet for you about your new ambassador. But by listing off all of those things, I can tell you right now, when I signed up, if somebody would have said, hey, do you have 3 friends or family that would do this with you? I'd have been like, nobody's going to do this with me. Ain't nobody got money. All my friends are broke. This is, nobody's going to do this with me. But when it was approached to me with, do you have any close friends or family who struggle with diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, low energy? I was like, oh yeah, my mother-in-law is hypoglycemic. My mom has high blood pressure and my sister wants to lose weight. There's my 3 people. Okay, now what? So I explained to them, we've got your names, we've got diagnoses written out to the side. So now what? And I explained to them that I'm going to help them formulate wording, whether it's best to do that in text message or a phone call or a Facebook message, depending on their relationship with that person. But because these are their close friends and family, it's a lot easier for them to reach out. And here's the wording that I use. It is it's not like a super salesy cold message by any means. I'm very I cringe a lot of times when I hear the word cold message, and there is absolutely a right way to do it and an absolute wrong way to do it. In this particular situation, when this is your extreme warm market for your new ambassador, here's exactly how I would approach it. Let's say I'm talking to my mother-in-law and I'm a new ambassador, okay? Okay, so I just got this stuff in the mail called Plexus. I've ordered it to help me lose a little bit of weight. It's supposed to be really good for cravings and things like that, but I came across some testimonies about people who have hypoglycemia that have had really good results with the products. And so I'm an ambassador now. I'm actually able to get the wholesale ambassador discount. So what I was wondering is, will you do this with me so we can kind of hold each other accountable? And worst case scenario, if we hate it, we get our money back in 60 days. That was exactly how I approached my mother-in-law. Exactly how I approached my mother-in-law. I don't think I actually even needed to send her a testimony at that point, because she was like, sure, you know, why not? If you're doing it and we get our money back if we don't like it, okay. I didn't even have to send her a testimony, but if they wanted, like, I mean, if that was something that I felt like she needed or wanted, I could have been like, well, hold on, let me send you a couple of other hypoglycemia testimonies so you can see. And because these are your super warm market, like your close friends and your family, meaning your brothers, your sisters, your mom, your dad, your aunts, your uncles, your grandmas, your grandpas, those are the types of people you can talk to in that way. You can say, let's just do this together, see what happens. Worst case scenario, we hate it, we get our money back. That right there, that wording and that approach, almost every single time makes the new ambassador feel comfortable enough approaching those people versus you being like, okay, I want you to copy and paste this big long message saying, I'm sure you've seen my Plexus post. Are you interested? Would you like me to send you more information? No, they don't want to do that. That's too salesy and too businesslike. So that's checkbox, whatever number that is. You'll see it on the thing. Once you get that laid out and you explain to them what the benefit of reaching out to these people is going to do, if we can get 3 to 5 of those people to sign up as ambassadors or as customers, they have more than paid for their monthly triplex with just those 3 to 5 people. And then because we have initiated that conversation and we've explained how they can get those products for free that month, it leads me into the next question or the next checkbox with them, which is basically, you know, if at some point in time you are interested in making more than just enough to cover your products, you know, we can go over that later. And I very lightly touch on, you know, I don't go into the compensation plan and confuse the crap out of them with that. I don't talk about gold and senior senior ruby, because that goes over a new ambassador's head pretty quick. What I do talk about is if they do want to make a couple $100 extra dollars a month or a couple $1,000 extra dollars a month, or maybe a free car and a free trip to Hawaii each year, what that would look like, and that we can absolutely make a plan depending on what their goals are. What else is on my newbie checklist? The rest of it is very much depending on their answers. Well, no, I take that back. It does ask them what is their why. I know we all kind of we've probably been burnt out on, like, we'll find out what your why is. But the important part for you as the sponsoring ambassador with your new ambassador and asking them this question is it actually makes them think for once, because the likelihood of them being asked that question before and never thinking about it is very unlikely. So by you asking a brand new ambassador, why are you doing Plexus? Like, why are you taking these products? You're going to get answers like, well, I need to lose weight, or I need to get off this blood pressure medicine. But why? Like, yeah, you need to lose 50 pounds and that's your goal, but what is that going to do for, like, is that going to make you happier? Is that going to make your family happier? Is it going to give you better quality of life? Is it going to help you to live longer? And that gets their wheels turning about why it's important for them to stick with their products. It makes them more committed now that they have a legit reason, because I can sit here and say, I need to lose 50 pounds. But when I say I'm losing 50 pounds because I want to be around for my daughter and be active in her life and play and be a good example for her, it has a lot more gravity and a lot more meaning and a lot more weight to it than me just going, well, I just want to lose 50 vanity pounds. Yeah. So it's one of those things that you can actually use when you're creeping up on that 30-day mark and they're experiencing die-off, or they're not getting the results they were hoping for at day 30. You can say, okay, let's revisit your why. We already talked about the fact that there's a reason we have a 60-day money-back guarantee versus a 30. this is one of those reasons. We're going to push through. At the end of 60 days, if you're still not happy, then, absolutely we'll take advantage of that money back guarantee. But in the meantime, we're going to make sure we do everything we can to get you the best results by day 60. So you don't, so you fall in love with the products. And just remind them of that why. I'm trying to think. I really should have grabbed that sheet. Like I said, I go so off the cuff sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to talk about when I get on here. So I was ill prepared by not grabbing that sheet. Let's see. Oh, the coming out post. One of the things that I highly encourage people to do with their new ambassadors is, and by now a lot of y'all may already do this, some of you may not. This was one of the things that was a new thing for me as a Sapphire ambassador. I'm sure y'all have, if I sign up a new ambassador, you go to your team page and you welcome on your team page. One of the things that I started doing that I actually like a lot better is I welcome them on my public Facebook page. So I make a fun little graphic. It says, welcome Amber to my team. I'm super excited. She's decided to start her health journey. I have a fun little picture of Amber with, a couple little Plexus graphics thrown on there, and I tag that new ambassador on that post. But what I do is it doesn't matter if she has told me until she is red in the face that she is not going to sell. I don't ask her permission to tag her and post this welcome publicly. What I do is I tell her, I go to my Facebook Messenger and I say, awesome, I'm super excited. Please let me know when you get your products in the mail. What I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to post a welcome on my page, and this is going to do one of two things. Number one, it's going to help my Facebook audience see that my team is growing, so you're helping me out by letting me post that welcome on my page. But most importantly, number two, I'm going to tag you on it so your Facebook audience sees it on your page. And even if you don't want to sell, we will hopefully have a couple of interested friends and family from your Facebook page that will comment or ask you questions or message you. If that's the case, I'm going to be there every step of the way helping you how to know how to answer those questions. I'm going to do a 3-way chat with you. And I tell them exactly what to do. Like if I tell them if I tag them on my welcome post and they have a Facebook friend that says, well, what is this? Or how much is it? What does this do? I tell them, just reply to those comments with, I'll inbox you. I'll inbox you. I'll inbox you. And then guess what? Me, you, and that person are going to get in a group chat and we're going to inbox them. And you're not going to refer to me as your upline. You're going to say, this is my friend, Heidi, who's been using the products longer than I have, and I'm bringing her in to help me answer questions so I don't tell you the wrong thing. I take the wheel from there. That way she can learn what kind of questions people are going to ask and how I answer them, and she's learning at the same time. Ideally, that person, 1 or 3 people end up asking her questions over that first couple of days, and we end up getting her a couple of new customers and a couple of new ambassadors. Get her excited about the fact of, crap, I didn't even make a post. You made the post and tagged me on it, and I got a couple of new customers. So it encourages them and motivates them to maybe start having their wheels turn about posting themselves. But the very next day, one of our check boxes is the coming out post, which is basically, I have it, I think it's actually written out on my newbie checklist, but essentially all it says, because I think one of the biggest pieces of feedback I get from new ambassadors is, and I think y'all will agree, is, well, I don't know that I want to post about it yet until I have my own results or until I have my own testimony or my own before and after, which I understand, but we all know, like, the sooner they start posting, the better. So here's what I do for them. I go ahead and I type up a coming out post for them with the mindset of they haven't even gotten their products in the mail. Some of these people have never even tried the pink drink before I'm encouraging them to make a post, and that can make them uncomfortable until they see the verbiage of what I send to them. And this is like a 2 to 3 sentence post. And like I said, I copy and paste it and I send it to them and I say, okay, here's what I want you to do. Typically, a lot of times they will wait until their welcome pack comes in the mail. And I tell them you can post this today or you can post it when your products come in. But that post will say something along the lines of, hey, look what I just got in the mail. I'm really excited to get started. I haven't even tried it yet, but I've seen amazing testimonies of friends and family She can even tag me on it if she wants and say, say my friend Heidi has experienced X, Y, and Z. I can't wait to get started myself. And that's their coming out post. I mean, she has not sat there and said, I've been on the products for 30 days, even though she hasn't tried it. No, we're not trying to get them to lie about it. We just want them to be honest with their journey. And then that leaves you with a great follow-up. If we can get them to post that, just to say, hey, anybody want to do this with me? I haven't even tried it yet. Who wants to do it? Like on day 2 or 3, what you can do is follow up with her and say, okay, now that you've had 2 or 3 days, like, what do you think about the flavor? Like, do you like the flavor of the pink drink? Have you noticed any differences, in your energy levels, in your bloating, in any of your cravings, bathroom habits, sleep habits? And even if the only thing they can tell you is, yeah, I like the flavor, then guess what? You're going to encourage a pink drink selfie. And you're going to have them say, day 3, so far so good. I'm really loving the flavor of this stuff. Can't wait to see what happens in a couple of weeks. That's it. There's no pressure for them to feel like they have to lie about the results or anything like that. But as they start seeing scale victories and non-scale victories, and you're following up week to week, you're pulling those things out of them. You're saying, okay, well, what did we like this week? Maybe there's some things I didn't like, but you don't have to talk about those. Just say, what are some things you noticed this week, or some of the things you liked? And those are the things you're going to encourage them to post. Are they going to do it every single time? No. But if they know the reason behind it, and you explain to them that they're helping you out as well, even if they're absolutely adamant about not working the business, a lot of times you'll be surprised that they'll actually post based on the fact that you said, well, it really helps me out, even, and I love referrals. And if you want to offer a referral incentive, if they're truly not interested in working the business, then I've done $5 Amazon gift cards because I can do it through email. I've said, for every person you refer to me that ends up signing as a customer, I'll give you $5 Amazon gift cards. If you send me somebody that ends up signing up as an ambassador, I'll give you $15 in Amazon gift cards. And sometimes they're, sending you people, and usually by the 3rd person, I'm like, no, you've sent me 3 people. Like, what's the holdup? Like, you need to be working this business, girl. Like, come on. So like I said, the newbie checklist is literally a checklist to make sure we're covering the basics of the basic, but it's one of those things that was so second nature to me. And for the majority of you guys that have taken the time to get on this call, if you're not a self-starter, you have bits and pieces of you are self-starter-ish, or else you wouldn't be on this call. That means you take the initiative to get on trainings. You take the initiative to look up videos, different ideas. But what I have found is the majority of my team are not self-starters, and they need that checklist. They need somebody to tell them, here's what we're going to do next. Here's what you're going to do after that. And if they don't have it, they're out there just going, okay, well, you signed me up and I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm just going to turn this backup order off next month. Well, that's not what we want to do. We've worked really hard to get those people to sign up. We don't want them to go away in 30 days just because we failed to explain some things to them. Like I said, the checklist, I know it's been a lengthy explanation, but the checklist itself is super easy. It's very, very basic and very easy to understand by a brand new ambassador. Don't make the mistake that a lot of my team made at first when we introduced the newbie checklist. They literally thought it was just for the newbie. So what they were doing is they were like, oh, here's the newbie checklist, have fun with that. And they basically sent this newbie checklist to the new ambassador. Well, it didn't make any sense to the new ambassador because it wasn't for the newbie. It was for the sponsoring ambassador. So we started referring to it as the newbie checklist / sponsoring ambassador worksheet, because it has fill in the blanks for you to be able to fill out the information about your new ambassador. And like I said, it's a really great follow-up system if you don't have a good follow-up system in place, because you can literally flip through your new ambassadors checklist as you get them. And you could do the same thing for customers. I don't have a customer checklist necessarily, but it wouldn't be much different than my newbie checklist. So long story short, if you don't have a duplicatable system that is more than just you adding people to your team page and telling them how to go silver, that's step 1. Step 1 is definitely making sure you've got physical, checklist in hand, even if that's just the checklist from the success kit. Just make sure you get something that you're consistently doing. Okay.
Oh my word, this has been so good. Like, I say that almost every call that we have guest speakers on, but I truly, I always mean it, but I like really, really mean it this time.
I'll, like I said, because I don't have it in hand, I feel like I'm super almost too off the cuff in this.
But here's what I kind of love about that is it's so duplicatable that you've got it filed away in your head. It's not this big, long, I love in the success kit, I love the quick step guide thing. The other deal, I call it like the Plexus yearbook. It is kind of overwhelming, and it's just like, what do I do with all of this? This is just so good, and it's something for you to hang on to, like you said, to follow up with those people, to remind them of their why, all of that. I mean, okay, so let me ask you, I'm excited. Like, I don't know if the rest of y'all are. I was getting text messages from a few of you just going like, this is so good. And it really has been. It's been so good. When you send me the checklist, will it have all of the verbiage and stuff for different messages listed and all that?
It has. Let me pull it up on my phone, actually.
Okay.
I periodically will update it. Just, obviously, like, if I think I like different verbiage better, I'll update it and things like that. So I'm trying to see what my most recent update looks like.
Okay. Well, she's doing that. I thought of what I think could be kind of a fun challenge, and I want to do this too. Some of this is going to maybe take just a little bit of practice. Some of the three-way chats, some of the, if we're talking like this on Zoom and we're using some of this verbiage that she's going to give us. So what I want for those of you that are on this call to do, even if you're watching the playback, I would love for you to find someone else, either someone that's on this call or someone that you know has seen the playback, or someone on our team page, say, hey, watch this call because I need a partner. And then I want you to partner with that person and just do, this is going to seem, you guys know my word, it's going to seem cheestastic, and it is a little bit cheesy, but you're going to do a little bit of role play of, okay, you're the newbie, I'm the sponsoring ambassador, okay? And I'm saying to you, like what Heidi was talking about with her mother-in-law, who do you know, 3 to 5 people that struggle with, and you list, and you guys just go back and forth and get that practice. I want to do it too, so I'm going to be picking a partner. I don't know who I'm going to pick yet, but I mean, y'all may be like, no, I don't want you as my partner, and go pick somebody else. But I might pick Beulah because she's not sitting in the dark tonight. I can see her pretty face. But I think that would be really wise of us. And then build a strong rapport and a strong relationship with that partner and use that. I want us to do more of that role play, of that getting more in just the habit of giving our quote unquote elevator speech, of talking to strangers, of I mean, not in a weird way, stranger danger, but talking to strangers about Plexus, and so on and so forth. So you can use that partner to continue bouncing ideas off of and role playing and saying, okay, I'll be the newbie this time, you be the sponsoring ambassador, so on and so forth. Okay, Heidi, did you find it?
I did, and I just sent it to you in Messenger. Oh, that's
okay, cool.
Oh, wait, okay, so y'all can kind of see it's literally a one-page document. I don't know how well y'all can see that. It's just little check boxes with like 1 to 2 sentences outside of each one. I mean, it is easy. I wish I would have thought to like pull this up on my stupid phone. Like,
cool.
Beginning of this, that would have been really smart.
This is awesome. Like, we needed some fresh ideas in our team, and I just can't thank you enough just for being so willing to share this. And you guys, make sure you're let people know about this Plexus culture. We don't just say one Plexus like it really is one Plexus. Heidi Speer is nowhere in our upline. She's not going to be banking on us this week. Be like, hey, Amber and Janice team, they got me rolling. No, she's not in our upline yet. She's getting on here. She's doing these calls. She's helping us out. That is one Plexus, and that's very rare. in network marketing. So does anybody else have a question relating to anything in the call tonight for Heidi? If you do, just either unmute and ask your question, or you can put it in the chat feature. Anybody have anything?
If anybody's got anything while y'all are thinking of your questions, I just wanted to kind of, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, but it kind of sparked my brain a little bit. One of the biggest, I don't know if it's really a tip more than it is just advice. A lot of people, you know, on my team, if they've been around for a while, or maybe they're posting and they're like, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. I'm posting every day. I'm just, you know, people aren't reaching out. Nobody is responding to my messages. What do I need to do?
Mm-hmm.
I do typically try to, I end up usually role playing with that person, but sometimes before I even get to the role playing part, I can tell them exactly what's going on based on their Facebook. So one of the very first things I would do, if you were to come to me and say, what's the deal? Like, I've been posting every day for 6 months. I'm not silver. What am I doing wrong? The very first thing I do before I even message that person back is I go creep their Facebook page. So I'll go to her Facebook page. Number one, I'm looking for, does she have a bunch of cheesy graphics all over her Facebook page? Is her profile picture a picture of Plexus Slim, which is like a big red flag, sales, spammy, stay away from my Facebook page kind of thing. So number one, if I see those kinds of things within the first couple of seconds, I'm immediately writing notes down saying, okay, let's get rid of all the graphics and all of the I guess the stock images of Plexus products off of your Facebook page, first and foremost. Then the next thing I'm looking for is, how easy is it for me to find a personal Plexus post on their page? One of the biggest mistakes I see from these particular people who message me going, what am I doing wrong? I don't understand. I'm posting all the time about Plexus. Either they are like above and beyond over posting, like they don't post about their kids, they don't post about their family, they don't post anything motivational or funny. They literally are just spamming their Facebook audience with Plexus, 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 and it has nothing to do with their personal life more than it is like, look at me in my pink drink, look at me in my pink drink, look at me in my edge, look at me in my X Factor, and there's no like meat to their posts. Or it's just stock images. They basically Googled the word Plexus Slim and copied and pasted the image and posted it with whatever they posted. So it looks like a big ad. Or they are oversharers of all of the things. Some of y'all might be guilty of this. Maybe it's recipes or funny memes from other funny pages, or videos, you know. So if I have to go to your Facebook page and I have to scroll through 6 different funny videos or recipes or shared posts from something you shared, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, I'm on day 6, I've got to be on day 6 and I haven't seen a post, and it was all from today. You know, you're thinking, oh, she must have, like, I've gone through 20 posts, like I'm on surely on day 6. No, these are all posted between yesterday and this afternoon. Then you are over posting, over sharing big time. Now I understand, you know, wanting to save recipes for yourself to look at later, but there's a fabulous little button. You can right click at the top of that video and it shows you a drop down menu where you can save it. So it doesn't actually post to your page and you can still look at it later. But if you're one of those people, you're shooting yourself in the foot, because if I'm overwhelmed going to your page, and I can promise you your potentials are overwhelmed by going to your page, they're like, she's just sharing recipes on her Facebook. There's no point in me going even looking at her Facebook. So those are some of the biggest things. Now, sorry, position change. Oh, my foot is asleep. Let's say I go to your Facebook page and you seem to be doing it right. You're posting pretty personal. You know, you've got a good balance of one Plexus post for every personal post that you're making about your kids or your family or fun stuff. If you seem like you're making decent posts, my next question to you is, okay, are people messaging you? Are people commenting on your stuff? Are you reaching out to people? And if they say, yeah, people reach out to me, but then they don't want to buy or they have excuses, that's where the role play comes in. And a lot can be said with some role play. So I do exactly that. I usually tell them, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pretend that I am a potential that has no idea what Plexus is, and I have come to you, and my first question is, what is Plexus? go. And we sit there and we go back and forth, pretending that I have no clue what plexus is. I see exactly how they would talk to me if I was a potential. I respond pretty similar to how I feel like most potentials would respond. I'm not overly dramatic and ugly or overly complicated. I'm just, basic questions that we always get. But if the very first message I get back from them is, well, Plexus Slim was developed for, type 2 diabetics to help regulate blood sugars, and it has chromium and it has alpha lipoic acid, and I'm going, oh, here's our problem. You've puked Plexus all over this person within the first 30 seconds, and they are gone. They are not responding now. Thanks. You can come back from that, but there's so many different ways that these conversations pan out. Your delivery might be beautiful, and then it gets to them saying, well, how much does it cost? And then you freeze up going, I don't know what to tell them. I don't want to freak them out by saying it's, $100, and they get all freaked out because it's expensive. We explain how to talk about, how to explain the best option for them, how to explain it in a way where they're not overwhelmed by the cost. And there's actually on this newbie checklist, there is another little helpful call, and it is old, y'all. I say old as in like 4 years old, I think. But it is a team call using the phone, but it wasn't a Zoom recording. This is how old this is in Plexus world. But it's a 1-800 number, and it is down here at the bottom of our newbie checklist, and it is the how to have the perfect Plexus conversation call. It was a call that I hosted, and it is by far our most shared and listened to team call in the last 4.5 years that I've been with Plexus. I share it with every single business builder on my team who shows interest in working the Plexus business. It gives lots of information and tips and tricks and ideas on how to have that perfect Plexus conversation, how to respond when people message you saying, how much is, like, if they've never asked you a single question ever about Plexus, and the very first message they send you is how much does it cost, it gives you the do's and don'ts of how to respond to that message, because the last thing you want to do is tell them how much Plexus cost if that's their first question. Instead, I'm just going to give you all a little snippet of that call right now. Like I said, rabbit hole, y'all. So I apologize. Got to keep up. We got to keep up. So a snippet of something that's on that call is, let's say you have a potential who has never acknowledged that you sell Plexus, never has messaged you or commented, and the very first question they ask you is, how much is Plexus? If you respond back with, here's a graphic with all of our prices of all of our products, they're going to be like, all right, thanks. Or they might not even respond, because all they see is $100 or more, and they don't even know why they need it yet. They've just shut it down because they're like, oh, I don't need a pink drink that bad. But if you were to start that conversation with or respond to that question with a question of, awesome, I'm super glad you're interested. What are your biggest struggles? That's my number one favorite question. I start almost every single, or reply to almost every single question. If it's that first inquiry, what are your biggest struggles? Now, this is where they come back with, well, I need to lose weight. Okay, but obviously there's some underlying issues of why they're struggling with their weight. So my next response is, well, what are your biggest struggles, as in, is it carb and sugar cravings? Is it that you're snacking all the time? Are you overeating at meals? Do you feel full when you've eaten? Is it because you have lack of energy, no motivation to go to the gym? How is your quality of sleep? How many times a day do you poop? I mean, these are questions that, yes, it takes some time to get in that routine of being comfortable asking them. And that's why I love the voice clip feature on Facebook, because it saves so much time. But those are the kinds of questions, because then it gets their wheels turning of, oh, well, I thought this was just a weight loss drink. I didn't know it was going to help. It could potentially help me with energy or, all of this other stuff. So it kind of opens that door for conversation. It lets you know that obviously if they don't have any chronic pain or inflammation issues, yeah, I mean, your nerve is probably not going to be your first go-to recommended product because they don't have any nerve pain. But it kind of gives you some focus on where to focus that conversation so you can better tailor it to them. So by the end of the conversation, they're going, okay, how do I place my order? Because, they may even come back around and say, okay, so how much did you say this cost? And that way you know what products to recommend for them. And now they know why they need it. Because you've explained, okay, well, you struggle with X, Y, and Z. here's a couple of testimonies that back up why this would be really helpful for you. Now they have some meat and they understand why they need the products, and they're more willing to spend $100 on it versus just thinking it's some pink drink like Crystal Light that they're paying $100 for. So let them know why it's important and why they need it before you start spewing out prices to people. Same reason we don't like posting our prices on Facebook either, or our website. That's all in the call too. So, so I hope that call helps as well. But like I said, that 1-800 number is literally on, it's the 4th checkbox from the bottom on the newbie checklist that y'all will have. So
cool. Yes, I will be posting this call to our Slim Sisters team page. And then I will also be posting the checklist that she sent over. And she said that that call, the 1-800 number for that call is at the bottom of that, or is number 4 in that checklist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys will have accessibility to all of this. We all will. So Heidi, again,
feel free to, that checklist is, something I just compiled over the last couple of years. So I don't have it copyrighted. I don't plan on getting it copyrighted. So feel free to make it y'all's own. If y'all like it as is, keep it as is. If you want to take stuff out and tweak it and combine it with another checklist, more power to you. But, like I said, there's no right or wrong way. It's just what works for me.
Yeah. Well, thank you so very much. We really, really appreciate this. I want to close us out in prayer. Vicki Helbert, would you mind unmuting and closing us out in prayer? And I think that you will, but I want us to just as a team, just remember to keep praying for Heidi and for these procedures that she has to do. And that, like I prayed at the beginning, that her body is healed. I would love to do another call with her in a month and her be like, I'm all good, y'all. I'm sure she would too. So, Vicki, if you would though, close us in prayer. Thank you.
Sure. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this call with Heidi. Thank you for the inspiration she was to me. And God, I ask that you take these words that we heard tonight, Lord, help us to apply them to our businesses, Lord, to our lives. Just help us to be better ambassadors, Lord, better Christians for you, and let the light of you and plexus shine through us. Thank you so much for all of these people that were allowed to be on this call tonight. Thank you for all the many blessings of this business. And God, we just lift up Heidi to you tonight. Lord, please just touch and heal her body. May the process be much quicker, and may she just recover from this once and for all. And thank you for her precious little girl. And Lord, we cannot close our prayer without praying for our precious Jana, Lord, that we love so much. Lord, I just lift her up to you, and Steve and the girls, and for Amber and all of their family, Lord. Thank you so much for their testimony, for their walk in front of us. And we just ask you to be with all these things, Lord. Just give us a great night's rest tonight. Give us a great day tomorrow. And watch over, protect all of our families, God. And just please keep us safe. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Heidi, again, I know I've said it like 100 times, but thank you so much. I personally have gained so much from this call. So I thank you so much.
Y'all are welcome. And like I said, I would love to come back and do another call for you guys or with you guys. And definitely hoping and praying that it ends up being a good outcome from a
Awesome. Awesome.
I hope everybody got something from it. If not all of it was hopefully good, but I hope y'all got a snippet out of my many rabbit holes and long-windedness. So if y'all have any questions, let me know. I've sent that document over to Amber though, and hope y'all get.
And I'm gonna hoard it all for myself.
Just sharing it. No, like I said, do what y'all will with it. Just if you throw it away, just don't tell me.
Thanks, girl. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.